remedy out. So we're back to have the conversation. The science and tech and evolution of bulk SMS industry in the wake of AI and instant messaging. That's the discussion. His name is Joseph Apia Duku, and he's a team lead marketing for Nalo Solutions. He's actually in a bright orange Nalo Solutions t-shirt, well designed. It looks very quality, not like the white dove that people use, not the one that when you wash it, then the neck becomes a problem. I mean, so yes, he's here. We're going to talk SMS issues. Good morning.
Good morning.
So first of all, let's start with this whole instant messaging.
Okay.
There used to be a time when people were buying, like they say 10,000 whatever for X amount, and then they will blast you and all that. Give us a bit of a background to instant messaging before we come to this whole conversation.
Okay. So the first message that was sent was somewhere in the 90s by an engineer called Neil Papsworth. So he was on the team working on the SMSC project. So the SMSC project involves the system or the protocol that allows you to transmit messages from one end to the other.
Okay.
So he sent message to his colleague, and then the message read, Merry Christmas. So on record, that is the first message that was sent by Neil Papsworth. And then later in the year, Nokia came up with the first infrastructure that can send peer-to-peer messaging. So I think Nokia is the revolutionary organization that thought of, that advanced on Neil Papsworth's work. And then they brought the peer-to-peer messaging system. So during that period, peer-to-peer messaging wasn't a lot. Even though the architecture was there was not a lot of people sending messages to themselves. I think the golden age or the golden era was when emoticons and then shorthand messages became a thing. So during that period, they were sending about 10 billion text messages during that period from the 2000s to the 2010s. So during that time, messages increased to about 2,000% of compared to the first period where messages were about 0.4 month on month. And then we went to the 2012s. So in the 2012s, that's when WhatsApp started coming, Facebook Messenger, and all those instant messaging apps. So I took a toll on the original SMS infrastructure. So SMS dropped to a while. And then during that period, we were using instant messaging to communicate by ourselves. But then businesses took upon that advancement, and then they introduced the A2P messaging. Now, the A2P messaging infrastructure is about texting from an application. So what we at Nalo Solutions, we do is we have an A2P system where we've built an application for you, and then you input your message, and then you blast that message to your contact. But then before that period, it was all about, hey, how are you doing, for social connectivity purposes. So I think the instant messaging had a bit of an impact on the bulk SMS infrastructure. But then until the businesses came in, that's when it's resurrected. And then messages also hit a steady period, and the messages were also being sent out. So I can say up to now, I believe in 2019, there are about 1.3 trillion messages that were sent in 2019 alone, accounting for, say, 40% for business communications, and then the rest being several text messages from person to person.
But as it stands now, I mean, person to person, the SMS almost gone.
Yes, it's gone. But then one thing Apple has done for the period is getting people to text on that SMS infrastructure with their iMessage capabilities. So even though we can say SMS is gone, in maybe Ghana and then the other parts of the African countries. I think SMS is peer-to-peer messaging is still there for places like the EU and then the United States of America because of the infrastructure Apple introduced on top of the SMS architecture. So now people still text with iMessage and all the stuffs. Yeah.
Is there a security advantage of going, because one of the things I've noticed in life is the older school it is, the better sometimes it is when it comes to security. So for instance, you having money in your pocket is definitely better than having it in an e-form where some smart guy can steal it. You know what I'm saying? So my thinking is this: our SMS as they are now compared to all these things, are they a better means of communicating when it comes to person? Is there an advantage to be gained by doing SMS as opposed to WhatsApp?
Okay, so for WhatsApp, recently that they came up with end-to-end encryption. Now, end-to-end encryption means when messages go from my end, they're encrypted so that the other party cannot see it. When it arrives at the other party's end, it's also encrypted. So only the sender and the receiver can interfere with the message, or no one else can interfere with the message. So that architecture came recently. But for SMS, it has always been secure. It has always been secure because of the several processes it goes through. So the developers of the SMS architecture had security in mind because at that time, people were concerned about their security. So we can't just put anything out there. So SMS is still secure. I think the conversation is not really about it's being secure. That's why people are not using. But the social purposes, I think instant messages serve the purpose. But then for banks and insurance companies and the rest, we prefer SMS. Of course. Because I mean, at the end of the month, we are always checking our messaging app compared to our WhatsApp because we know what happens on the SMS side. So for businesses and other corporate institutions, they don't really care or think much about SMS not being secure. So for social purposes, I think WhatsApp and the other IMs, they just started the end-to-end encryption to be secure. Yes.
And then just before we could say Jack, some guy raised his head, it's called artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
How has it influenced the bulk SMS industry, particularly in terms of personalization, customer engagement? What is AI doing in that space?
So I cannot speak for the rest of the industry, but then what I can, who I can speak for is Nalo. So for us, we have implemented AI because we feel AI is also part of the future. And then if you want to also look forward to what people are doing, you also have to be part of it. So we've also implemented AI systems where we use the AI to generate messages for customers. So you have an SMS that will take you years because content creation is very difficult. You have to think through whatever you have to do and stuff. But then with the AI, you just key in the topics around what message you want to send, and then it generates an SMS for you. It's AI system is not only for generating messages, but then it can also analyze campaigns and then also give you reports on that. So say you've sent about 5 messages and then they are not doing well. You can describe the solution, the problem to the AI, and then the AI generates or find a way to send personalized messages that will be highly effective. So for us at Nalo, we believe in joining the AI revolution. But then for AI affecting us, we don't see it as an effect, but then we see it as an opportunity to also expand on the services that we do. Because, I mean, AI cannot send messages now.
Okay.
So yes, now. So now AI cannot send messages. So what we have to do is to join on or partner with AI and then also make customers work very easy. But then yes.
Yeah. So AI is helping in the framing these messages
exactly.
that are going out
exactly.
there.
Exactly.
Okay. Telegram. What is that as well? And then how did it also come into the conversation?
So for the instant messaging apps, one of the difficulty of having an instant messaging app is the system is not, should I say, regulated. Anyone can create an instant messaging app at any point in time.
Okay.
So Telegram came, WhatsApp is around. Now TikTok too can do instant messaging. You log on to TikTok, you text your friend on TikTok. Instagram can also do instant messaging. So with that space, because of how easy it is to create or come out, if you try to specialize in that field, you'll be found wanting. So say you want to do only messaging on Telegram. At the TikTok about, we have this application that you can text your friends. You're out of business. That day you have to go out. So those are the difficulties associated with these instant messaging apps, and then what have you. Yeah.
So all of them coming into the industry, how has bulk SMS still remain relevant? What happens to, in fact, in addition to that question, what happens to bulk SMS if businesses now have another alternative and say, okay, this is the way, or somebody brings a juicier thing? What happens to bulk SMS?
Okay, so for businesses, they are always looking for easy solutions. Yeah. Now, the bulk SMS system was created with a mobile device. So when bulk SMS was being created, it was created with a mobile device. Now what happens with these third-party apps is you have to download an app before you can receive a message. So say you are living in a remote area and then you want to receive a very important information from your bank. And then you would have to download an app before you receive your message. I mean, that's a lot of issues. So with SMS, because of how robust the infrastructure is, messaging apps will come, but then SMS will still remain the biggest influencer of communicating with business customers.
Yeah, because I mean, for the layman, his phone already comes with SMS.
Exactly.
I get what you're saying. That's a brilliant reply. Yeah. So new tech is coming in. AI we've spoken about. Any other latest tech advancements that you've integrated into your bulk SMS services to enhance effectiveness?
Yes. So recently, I think for the past three months, we've added a few updates. We have the SIM active feature. So the SIM active feature is about checking the status of the SIM. So we don't want a situation where you send messages to a phone that is off, even though it will still go. So how the infrastructure works is you send a message and then the network operator will check whether the phone is on or off. If it's off, they hold on to the message. They keep trying after several times, and then when they see the phone is on, they send the message. Now for us, we don't want to keep you in that loop. So what we've done is a SIM active feature. You insert your numbers inside, and then it will give you the numbers that are active. So if the system gives you the active notification, that means the number is on. Messages will go instantly. So we have one called active. We have one called not found if the number is not good. If the number is also inactive, we will tell you, so that you can send messages to people who are actually active at the moment, even though you can continue to send your message to the inactive ones, which because of how the SMS system was created, will go back in a few minutes time. I think it's prudent to send messages to people who are active at that very moment. And then we also have the spam feature. So we also care about customers. I mean, we care about you. we want you to receive messages that you want to receive. You don't want anyone to use our system to send messages that you don't want to receive. So for the past period, there has been an increase in spam messages that are being sent to users. You'll be there, you receive a message that you've won a lottery. Meanwhile, you've not contested for any lottery. So we've built our system to have a spam detection feature, so that in any case, when a customer of ours uses our system to send spam messages, it will flag it, and then the message remains in our system, that the message will not go out to the recipients, because we want our recipients to be safe from these spam messages. Also, what we've done is we've implemented a blacklisting feature. So the blacklisting feature works works like when you want to send a message to, say you are a school, and then you have wards or guardians you want to send messages to, and then the guardians say parent A, parent B, parent C has paid their fees. Now you don't want to send messages, the reminder messages to all of these people at once. So you blacklist them so that when messages go, these people are ignored, and then the rest of the parents are reminded. So these are features that we keep adding to our system to make sure that we can serve the needs of businesses and then also give them the best experience.
Yeah, that's a good one, especially the blacklisting one,
Yeah.
because you don't want your kid coming and saying that you've not paid fees when you've paid. And sometimes they don't need to know whether you've paid or not. Anyway,
It's true.
Okay, so this 5040,
Yeah.
that has been sending me stuff.
Yeah.
Let me. You gain 50 free spins with your top up.
Yeah.
Reply spin to 5040 to reveal your free prize. Text no to 5040 to be removed from the campaign. What is that? Who is sending this one?
So for me to tell you who is sending that, I wouldn't be able to know who is sending that. But then it's a short code. So when you have messages, so what we advise in our compliance document is to help or to tell people that they should send messages with their names or sender IDs that will be easily identified by the people who are receiving the messages. Now you don't know 5040.
Nope.
So what you can do is maybe put 5040 on the internet, and then the sender will pop up. Most of these spin to win, they are games or value-added services that are being run through the provider. So say you are using MTN, Vodafone, or AT. Now these games will go through these providers, and then you subscribe to play them. I wouldn't be able to tell who exactly is behind that short code, but then what you can do is to put the code on the internet and then search.
Like Google it.
Yes, Google it. 5040. Their business name should appear.
Interesting. Then this one has a business name.
Yes.
It's a fuel station, a fuel brand.
Okay.
Loyalty redemption page, that app and website are currently being upgraded. For all gift redemptions, kindly contact our call center. Then they give some numbers.
Yeah.
Who gave them my number?
So, again, what we do is to make sure our customers or your businesses are following the rules. So we tell them that when you are uploading a list, make sure the person who is on your list has consented to receive a message. I think that is SMS 101. No consent, no send.
Oh, wow.
Yes, that is, we tell them to make sure that consent is also expressly given, not inferred. So you can't say, I think he wants to receive my message. He has to give you a notice by phone or by text or any means that is written or spoken. So for us, we make sure that these senders go through this list, and then it's on our SLA for people to make sure the
service level agreement.
Exactly, that they are the people who are receiving the messages have actually subscribed. So for who gave them your number, again, I wouldn't be able to tell, but then it's part of the promotional messages. I think for SMS, we are not really strict on that for promotional messages because we don't have regulations around promotional messages. So we it's kind of loose, a little loose. So for receiving this kind of messages, the best you can do is to flag as spam so that the messages never lands in your inbox again, or you can call them that you don't want to receive messages from them again. If it were email, you would have pushed it into spam, and then that is the end. They never contact you again.
It's 9:30, and that means that we have like 25 minutes to go for this conversation. It's getting interesting. We're talking SMS, bulk SMS as it were, and those days when they used to be the primary means of communicating. These days, they are becoming a lot more less. But like you say, in the business world is also still very much interested in them. His name is Joseph Apiaduku. He's the team lead marketing at Nalo Solutions. We're talking the evolution of bulk SMS industry in the wake of AI and instant messaging apps. Can a business walk to a telco and go and collect our numbers and blast us?
No, it's not allowed. It's not allowed. Now, when a business does that, they are not following the regulations. But then you sign contracts when you agree to use the business services. Maybe so. One of the difficulties associated with us as a people is most of the time you don't read terms and conditions.
Time no there for that.
Yes. So most of the time we ignore terms and conditions, but then they are very important. Maybe it's in the terms that your number may be used for promotional purposes, but then because you didn't read, you went ahead to use that telco. So it's not allowed, but then maybe on the telco side, they have it in their terms and conditions that you've already agreed for them to use your message, your number for promotional messages and stuff.
I'm beginning to believe that probably this fuel station thing, this brand, because I buy a lot of fuel from them, I have a feeling I went to scratch something or did some promo something, and then the loyalty something, and then they say this guy who keeps sending him messages. Do you have an like an example of a successful use of Bulk MX by a business, maybe a startup or maybe even an established business, and then later they showed that this worked? I mean, it was successful in terms of Bulk SMS.
So the case studies are a lot.
Share a couple of them with our listeners.
The case studies are a lot. Now, we work with NGOs who sometimes want to send alerts for collections of items.
Okay.
Now, when they are ready to start their NGO service, they blast a few messages to people who have already donated before, and then they see a lot of monies being generated from that messages that they've sent. I think for the obvious ones are the banks, who at the end of every 25th, we try to refresh and see what is happening there.
Saka has been refreshing. I doubt if something has changed on his on that stance. Oh, okay, I get it. So it means that for those organizations, Bulk SMS is still very vital to their success.
Yes, because say you withdraw funds and then you don't receive SMS. You are in delirium. You call your banks several times because you didn't receive a message. But then maybe the deductions are already been made. Maybe the funds is in your account. But because you didn't receive a message, there's an issue. So for them, it is very crucial. My messages must go out anytime my customer tries to make a transaction.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What are some of the biggest challenges facing the Bulk SMS industry today? Especially with AI coming to town and all that.
For AI, I wouldn't, and then IMs, I wouldn't call them a challenge because they are here to advance on our business operations. For AI, like I rightly said, we've already integrated. We are also in the conversation with Meta to also get APIs for their WhatsApp messaging, where we can do Bulk SMS alongside WhatsApp messaging to also help customers who prefer the WhatsApp module than the SMS module, even though they will still be using the SMS architecture. What happens with the IMs is because it comes with because it runs on the internet. Now you can send fancy messages, like you ordered something, you see that thing nicely on your WhatsApp to your customer. So with that, we are talking with Meta. We are not looking at it as a disadvantage because we still believe that SMS is going to be there forever. For our challenges, I think is the industry has grown. And then there has been a lot of competitors in the past 10 years, a very large number of competitors. So I think that is going or leaning towards a disadvantage because there is easy entry in this business. So that is a challenge. But then for IMs and AIs and all the fancy words, we are also trying to lean towards them. Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to work side by side with it.
Yes, we want to work side by side with it. Yeah.
Interesting. I'll go into the regulations and all that governs your, but I just want to have an idea of how is this industry like in Ghana, the bulk SMS industry? How you have an association? How many are you? What kind of businesses are they? I mean, give me an idea of the industry.
Okay, so the industry, I know we have businesses who run this bulk SMS as a value-added service. So
That's what their core.
Yes. So they have bulk SMS. For us at Nalo, we have bulk SMS. We have email services. We have payment services. We have voting systems. So all of these things are categorized under value-added service. It's not only bulk SMS like that. And then you go to the resellers. So a reseller is someone who wants to sell SMS as a business, only SMS as a business. So we register them as a reseller, and then they go and then make deals and make profits for themselves. For groups and associations, there are a couple of them that you are free to join. It's not mandatory as compared to other industries where, say, media, you have to join a media alliance. For bulk SMS, it's not mandatory to join a group. But then what groups we have are the operators. So we work closely with the operators, MTN, AT, and Telecel. We work closely with them. We are also under NCA, which also governs how we do businesses. Yeah.
I'm sure you've not faced a big challenge as an industry. Otherwise, you would have become an association the next day. Ghana, that's how. If something happens, all of you band together and say, "Hey, let's form an association."
Yes.
But how many would you say are there in terms of those who do the value-added services?
So I on top of my mind, I can say about 10.
Okay.
Yes, okay. I can count about 10 of them who are providing this value-added service. But then what happens with our industry is the value-added service is one. And then if you want to do, say, chatbot, AI stuff, you can do it on top. Because the value-added service is like, it's not a core business. Or I don't want to say it's not a core business, for lack of better words. Let me say it's not a core business. So you can do that alongside something else.
Other things. Okay. So what regulations do you work with, and compliance issues? How are they impacting the industry?
So for compliance, we are very compliant with the rules set with all our senders or businesses. We tell them not to send messages after 6 p.m. which is regulated by the NCA. It's called quiet hours, and then you cannot send messages after 6 p.m. It's required. You do not have to send messages after 6 p.m. So if you receive a message after 6 p.m., you have to call the person sending you that message, and then maybe you report them. Yes. And then the next one is messages should consent should be expressly given, as I stated before. We want to make sure that, or we work with this regulation, that messages should be sent only when people have agreed to receive messages. And then also you have to regularly clean your list. And then you also have to stop sending messages to people who have said they don't want to receive messages from you again. I think it's something that most of the time some people flout, but then it's not something that should be encouraged. If a customer says, "I don't want to receive messages from you," it means I don't want to receive messages from you.
Oh wow! I mean, interestingly, I've seen one. All that I have here, they are all before 6, but I've seen one from my own people. I won't mention your name, but it's sent at 7:27 p.m. Okay, I'll tell them to.
So if that happens, you see, you search for it, you couldn't find. Some people flaunt it. I mean, it's up to regulators to enforce rules.
So is this the fault of the business or the provider they are using?
So some of the time, the providers don't inform them expressly. So for us, it's on our SLA. We try to tell you all the terms associated with our service. If you do that, you flaunted our rules. And then part of the service level agreement states that if you flaunt our rules, we have the right to impose sanction on you. We have the right to call you out. We have the right to tell you or even terminate your account. So for us, we try to be compliant with the rules. But then there are lots of providers. So,
I mean, interestingly, I always thought it was the business. No, it was you were the one sending the message, not I. If I came to you and said, I want you to. So, who comes with the phone numbers? The business or Nalo will release the phone numbers?
So for us, we don't own telephone numbers.
Okay.
Just to be clear, Nalo doesn't have any telephone number.
Are there providers who have numbers?
For that, I can't tell.
Okay.
But then for us at Nalo, we don't have phone numbers.
So I will bring the numbers to you.
Yes.
Then I say I want to blast this message to them.
Yes.
So I leave everything. You do the blasting, or what is the process?
That is the great idea behind the A2P messaging system. So just like the P2P that you can send by yourself, the A2P2 you can send it by, you just sign up. They give you a nice dashboard for you to input your numbers, and then you can type the messages that you want or use AI. And then you send the messages to these numbers. Now, on the first send, our system checks to see numbers that are blacklisted. We don't send messages to blacklisted contacts. Our system also checks for numbers that are duplicates. We remove them. Our system also checks for invalid numbers. We remove them so that they clean the list before it goes out. So for you only what you are doing is to just press enter, and then send the messages. But then if you want us to send your messages for you because maybe you have a very tight schedule, we can send the messages for you. But then that will also be on an agreement that we are not liable for anything that you are doing with the system. But then we are assisting you to also send your messages. But then every bank, every service provider like Zen, we can create an account for Z. We can create an account for you, give you your logins and everything. You can send messages to colleagues and then directors at any time.
That's interesting, because then it means that, but can't I still hold you liable that it was your system they used to send me the message at 7 p.m. So when I'm suing, I sue the company that sent it, and I sue the technology provider that made it possible.
So you wouldn't be able to see the provider. I mean, this SMS may be from us, it may be from other provider. You won't be able to see. The only thing you are able to see is the sender ID. So the sender ID is the name that comes on top of the message. So when you see the sender ID, I'm not sure, because of how you are angry, you are going to ask, "Oh, send a message you are going to just take them on straight for it." So it's up onto them to involve the provider in the litigation for that purpose.
I mean, for me, the biggest solution is always to mute the notifications or take it off notifications so that when you want to, you go check. But the constant things. Anyway, it's almost about, we have just about 10 minutes to go. What do you foresee as being the future of the bulk SMS industry?
So the future is very bright for us, even with the advent of AI and IMs. We don't believe TikTok is the last social media app to come. We believe there are a lot of social media apps or IMs that are going to come. And then they will all have capabilities of texting. So we would also want to integrate with these future apps that come. But for the SMS core, I think for now, we stand at about 62% penetration, digital penetration rate in Ghana. So as and when more people are coming to smartphones and even normal phones, we believe that there are also businesses who are going to come to also send messages to these people. A study is also projecting about a 20% increase in messages that are being sent over the period in 2025. So if as of 2019, we are receiving about 2 trillion. I think for now, you have to embrace yourself for a lot of messages that are going to come to your phone. So for 2025, we are looking at about 3 to 4 trillion messages that are going to be sent. And then these messages are going to be sent through these service providers like Nalo and the rest. So we see a very bright future towards us.
There's no emerging or future technology that will kick you out?
For now, we want to embrace with the emerging
Anyone comes, then you join them.
Yes.
You are like if you can't beat it, you just join them.
Yes, you just join them. But then what makes the SMS architecture unbeatable is the idea of downloading another app. What could have happened, or what could have hurt SMS was MMS. I think MMS only came about 2 years, and then it was
what happened? Because it's of interest to me. Why did that thing disappear?
I wouldn't be able to give exact reasons to why MMS died, but then I think at that time it was a good technology at the wrong time. because for now, like I'm saying, Apple is giving us iMessage. Everyone in the Apple ecosystem is testing with multimedia, and then they are doing well. Recently, Google also launched RCS to also communicate with multimedia with Android people.
Yeah.
But with the iOS 18, as Saka rightly mentioned, RCS is going to be enabled for Android users to also chat multimedia messages with Apple users. So, I mean, this is a good infrastructure at a good time. So immediately RCS also makes way of people getting interest in RCS. We also join RCS and then see how we can also optimize for users to also benefit. Yeah.
That's quite interesting because I'm asking myself that those days I recall vividly that MMS had to do with multimedia. Because, but you know, now, do you see the challenge or the fight around data prices in Ghana as a positive for bulk SMS?
This is on the spot question.
Yeah, I happy to do that a lot. There's a guy in this thing called Victor. He sends these questions to me to ask guests.
Okay, so with data pricing issues, I don't think it has effect for SMS. I mean, SMS.
Are you not jubilating that data is going high?
Oh no, we actually we also use data. So we also pray that it comes down for all of us to be able to use data, because our services can be done on the internet. Our services cannot be done outside the internet. So we also use data. We are praying data goes down, and then everyone benefits from that. Yes.
Are there businesses that have no business being coming to you, or every business can come to you because there's something to be obtained?
Every business, we are calling on every business. Every business can use SMS. And then the interesting thing about being a value-added service provider is you don't actually, you create solutions to assist. So far as there's a phone, there's a solution to give someone. So maybe notifications, maybe the games that comes to you as play a game, maybe a payment system which happens on the phone as well. All of these are solutions that can aid in business operations. So every business is welcome, whether the agriculture industry, whether the banking and finance, whether the insurance, any media company, small scale businesses, any business. One thing that we are also looking to put ahead is most of the time with small scale businesses, like someone selling the wachi and someone selling
interested in
the gobe, they feel SMS is too techy for them. But then imagine going to your gobe seller and then that day he or she is not around. You'll be devastated.
They are.
So
they mostly are Victor and Saka.
So we are praying for all of these businesses to come to us, register, and then also send messages. When they are not around, people will also get notified, and then also hold on to their tracks and then not go there and then visit someone else. But then we are doing the sensitization. We are putting adverts down. We are putting media cards down so that businesses like this will see the importance of SMS in their industry, because at the moment there are only a few of them, only big time restaurants try to use this bulk SMS. But I mean, the gobe seller also needs bulk SMS.
I mean, I've just about 5 minutes to go, but this question I've reserved it really for this last bit of the conversation. If the gobe seller and the wachi seller are coming there, how expensive is this thing?
So our message are very cheap. Let me put it that way. A message should cost somewhere around 0.01 pesos to 0.03 pesos, based on how you negotiate. So we use volume. We do a volume game, and then based on your volume, we use to negotiate this rate for you. It's very cheap. For about, when you are having about 300 Ghana cedis, you can send messages to about 1,000 customers or more. Yes. So a message, the base price is 0.032. So 0.032, we do the math, and then we see that everyone can send messages. It's not
0.032 pesos.
Yes, pesos. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but don't you also think that this could be my last question, but let's go on. Don't you think that the lack of the numbers is something that hinders the appeal of SMS for businesses? Yes, she wants to send message, but are we saying that this Gobe seller should be collecting numbers of every buyer that comes through? Is there not a way? I always say the numbers are the challenge.
Yes, it's true.
And you people don't help. You say, listen, we don't deal with numbers. Bring the numbers. We'll give you the system.
Yes, I think it has to do with regulatory issues. That's why you don't collect numbers. But then you have your service. You want a solution. We can work around the solution for you. For collecting numbers, most of the time is difficult for businesses. But then we are an IT company. We can find a smart way to help with your solution. If your difficulty is collecting numbers, maybe the first place you can start is have a nice book down. When you buy your Gobe, the person packaging it for you will take their phone number. And then you take it only once. You take it once because you won't take their numbers again. Immediately you have their number down, you are not going to take their number again. So every day you are building on that contact. Even if you have 10, if you have 10 customers, that's 10 reliable people or 10 for sure people that you know will buy from you. And then that's a good business. But then if you leave it to chance, my business, people will come. I think I make the best food. People might also switch easily. So collecting the numbers, yes, is difficult. But then if you propose your difficulty to us, we can also propose a solution to you that will help you with your business.
Because for us at Z, lifestyle, leisure, and business is our thing, and we're always there to help businesses. I am thinking that this is good enough if we begin to educate people that, listen, if you're selling wachi by the roadside and you collect the person's number and you send the person a message, that alone elevates your service above a normal wachi seller.
I agree.
Wow, I got a message from the wachi seller. It elevates the wachi seller to a certain level.
I agree.
But the challenge, and like you've said, maybe they're not conscious enough of it.
I agree.
And when they are conscious, then we begin to collect and say, okay, let me get this small girl here with a phone, a normal phone.
Yes.
Just be collecting people's numbers. You don't even need to write.
Yes.
But just be saving numbers.
Yes.
And let me also ask one more of the competing, not brands. What Truecaller? Mm-hmm. How does it play into your space?
So with Truecaller, what I know it does is to only check the person who is going to or calling you or receiving your message. Maybe we would have to also get to that level of providing you with the right names and the right people who are receiving your messages. But then again, it's an add-on to the service that we are providing, because Truecaller cannot send messages yet. So immediately they try to send a message, that's when maybe you are in trouble. But then for their service model being giving you names, yes, it can also complement what we are doing.
Fantastic. So there you are. You have the solutions, people. If you're listening to us, get a little girl with a normal phone and just a cheap phone. Put Truecaller on it. Let us stand by you as you are selling. If the DJ Wade likes Gobe, he comes to buy, just collect his number. Use Truecaller, his name will come. Victor's name will come. Victor Adu, Pam, is there. Abdullah Saka. These names will just pop up. And the Truecaller, the lady can even confirm.
Yeah.
Right? Immediately she saves the number. She will ask, please, is that your name? Then the person will say yes. So this becomes easy. The person
that's the first step to personalization with messages.
Fantastic.
If you are buying Gobe from a joint, and then the Gobe person mentions your name, that hello, can I borrow?
That's
Victor's
great
name?
customer service right there.
Yes.
Thank you very much. His name is Joseph Apiaduku. He's a team lead for marketing at Nalo Solutions. Today on Science and Tech Wednesday, we were talking about evolution of bulk SMS industry in the wake of AI and instant messaging apps. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been a delight. We wish you and Nalo Technologies the very best.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you.
All right.
It's all too soon. The month of